Hi, Miss Collins here. I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick tutorial to show you how to sign up for Google Classroom and join your different classes. I'll also teach you how to navigate Google Classroom, and parents, I'll let you know as well of any sort of features that Google Classroom can help you with also. So to get started, students, first you need to actually join each of your classes. And there's a couple different ways to do that. So first, let's go ahead and get to the Google Classroom website. So to get to the Google Classroom website, I'm already here, but I'll go ahead and close that out. There's two different ways you can do that. One, if you're signed into your Gmail account, right, your school account, make sure you're signed in with your school account, by the way. You need to use your school account for this. Go ahead and look up in the corner. You'll see these little dots and it says Google Apps, and you can click there and you will find a shortcut for Google Classroom. So you can click that, that'll take you to Google Classroom. You could also just type the web address, and it's classroom.google.com, and that will take you to the exact same site as soon as it loads. Okay, so now we're on the Google Classroom site. We need to join our classes. Now your teachers are going to have probably two different ways of how they might invite you to join. One way is they might give you a code and have you enter the code to join the class. So if your teacher does that, when you're on the Google Classroom website, you just go to this little plus sign and click Join Class, and you will see right here the option for the class code, and that's where you would enter the code that your teacher gives you, and that would automatically add you to the correct class. The second way that you could join is if your teacher sends you an email invitation. So I went ahead and sent myself an email invitation, and you just go ahead and open it, and it says like, hello, Kristen Collins invited you to join sample history class, and you just press the little join button, and it's going to take you back to Google Classroom, and it's just going to want to confirm, do you want to join this class? I'm going to say yes. It might take a little minute to enroll me in the class. We'll wait for it to do that. Okay, so right now it already put me here in history class, which is what I signed up for. But like I said, you're going to be signing up for several different classes. So in order to see where all of your classes are, all you have to do is click the little lines up in this corner that say main menu. And then the very top one says classes, so go ahead and go there. And see, right now I'm only enrolled in one class, but for you students, you're going to have multiple boxes showing all of your classes that you're enrolled in. So this is cool because it gives you really quick access to switch from class to class. You just go back to that menu and click classes, and you will be here. Something else you can see here too is it's going to tell you if you have any upcoming due dates. They will appear right here, so that could help you easily click around to classes. You can kind of see what's due and work on it that way. So let's go ahead and jump into the class and look at a few things around here. I'm just going to give you first just some general guidelines of how to look for things on Google Classroom, and then I'm going to talk specifically for my class for history and how I'll be organizing my class. But first, let's sort of go over the general ideas. So when you're on this main screen, this is called your stream. And on here, you're just going to see different like announcements from me. Maybe I'll post something interesting I found about history. It's basically like an announcements board, and it will just be me posting to that. But this is really important. Make sure you check it out because this saves me from sending multiple emails to all of you. This way I can just sort of give announcements in one place. Something else you'll see here is over on the left, this little upcoming square, and this shows you just like what we saw back on the little home screen. It shows that you have one assignment coming up, and that's due on Friday. So that's really cool that it sort of keeps track of any upcoming assignments. So that's really it for the stream. The next little tab that we want to look at is up here on the top called Classwork. So if you click on the Classwork, you will see sort of however your teacher decides to organize this. I'm organizing it by week since we are doing distance learning at the time right now. I thought that this would be the easiest for you all to find the items that you need, but your teachers might have yours organized a little different way. So again, some general things to go over here is you can navigate, you can scroll up and down here, and you can see different assignments. Some of these are just information that's posted. We'll look at some of those in a second. Up here at the top, this is a really cool thing to check out. It says view your work. So if you click there, you basically can see, do you have any missing assignments? Do you have anything that's been graded that you haven't looked at? And do you have any like upcoming assignments? So right now it's set to all, but if I wanted to see what I was missing, I could click missing and it'll tell me which assignments are missing. Right now I don't have any return. Obviously I just enrolled, so I couldn't have completed anything yet, but this is where graded work would appear. And here you have some assigned work that has not been completed yet. Your missing work also shows up on your assigned work, which is really smart. So I think that's a really helpful tool in case you just feel like lost and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to work on. The view your work option is going to be a great option for you. Next, another really cool tool that Google has made for you to help make your life easier is that it's incorporating Google Classroom and Google Calendar together. So right now, you're just enrolled in like a history class. That's what I'm showing you right here. Google Classroom will automatically put any assignments on the calendar for you. So students normally at school, right, you would normally write in your planner, you'd write down any upcoming assignments or tests or due dates. Well, Google Calendar is doing that for you. And right, I didn't create any of these things. They were already just automatically in here. And just by clicking on this, it'll even take me to a link to that assignment, and it just tells you the information about it there. So it's super convenient. There's really like everything working for you to help you keep track of your work and what you have due and coming up. So that's a really cool feature. And again, Google Classroom will automatically put things on your calendar. You don't have to do anything. It will do this for you. Okay, so back to Classroom. The last thing I want to show you real quick here is the class drive folder. So basically, if you click this, it's going to jump over to your Google Drive. That's your personal Google Drive associated with your school email. So when you sign up for your classes, Google Classroom automatically creates a folder for you on Google Drive, and then any work that you need to complete, that you're completing like digitally, like in Google Docs or Google Slides, it will automatically save the copies for you here. So that'll make a little more sense when I show you an assignment in a second, but basically, like if you were just to go to your Google Drive, you would see, wow, you'd see, wait, what's this folder here called Classroom? I didn't create that folder. No, because Google Classroom did it for you. So you would just click into that folder, and you would see your different classes that you're enrolled in, and you could just click on your class, and then you'd see any work that you have made copies of that you might be working on. Google Classroom saves them here for you. So if you ever can't find something, this is another place of where Google Classroom sort of keeps a copy for you automatically. It automatically does this, students. You don't have to do anything. It does this for you. Okay, let's go back to Classroom. The last tab up here on the top is called People. So if you click on here, it's just going to show, hey, it's me, Miss Collins, your teacher, and that's it. If you have more than one teacher for a class, like some of the math teachers, some of the lab teachers might be on there as well. So you might see more than one teacher if you do have more than one teacher for that class. Okay, so that's the sort of general information on accessing Google Classroom and sort of navigating it. Parents, something else I wanted to point out is when your students join Google Classroom, I will be able to send you an email from Google Classroom, and it'll give you the option that you can sign up and get weekly or monthly, however you want to set it. You'll get updates from Google Classroom that'll tell you like how your student is doing in their classes. It'll tell you if your student has missing assignments or if they've submitted assignments. It'll basically just give you like an update of how they are doing. And that's really the best way for you to keep track of your student in regards to Google Classroom. You can't like join with your own email. You could have your students, log in for you so you can sort of see and navigate around, but that's a really great way to sort of get general updates from Classroom. And like I said, you're going to need to wait till all the kids enroll, and then you can look for that invitation to join and get information. And that email would include information for all their classes, not just for history class. Okay, so let's go ahead now. That's sort of stopping where the general Google Classroom update. Now I want to dive into specific information for history class, okay? So if anybody is ready to check out, go for it. But if you're here for 8th grade US history, here we go. Welcome. So for 8th grade US history, like I said, this area on the stream is where I'm going to be posting announcements, students. That's the only thing you will see on the stream. Sometimes you might see, like in other classes, like assignments showing up. For my class, no, it will only be announcements here, so make sure you check this out. And when I post an announcement, I think Google Classroom will automatically email you and let you know that I posted an announcement. So just know that that's specific to my class. This will just be an announcement area. And then in the classwork area, as you see, I've divided it up by week, so then you can keep track of your work for that week. Normally, if we were in school in person, I would probably have this divided by like unit 1, unit 2, based off of what we're learning, but I thought that this would be easiest for you while we're doing distance learning. So as you'll see, for this week of August 17th through August 21st, there's a couple different things on here. These gray ones are just showing that these are like documents, where these blue ones are actually assignments to complete. So let's go ahead and click on the gray one, and it says, please see the syllabus for this class, review it, and let me know if you have any questions. So you can literally click on this item here, and it's going to go ahead and bring up my course syllabus. And so this is not an assignment, right? There was nothing for you to submit. This is just me uploading a document for you to see. So you can go ahead and check out the information about my class, and we will be reviewing this in our live sessions as well. But this is how I will be posting any sort of important documents you might need. So let's go ahead and take a look at an assignment down here. This is a set of notes. Let's go ahead and click on that. It says, please complete these notes during the live session. And this is marked as missing. I purposely set the due date back further because I wanted you to see that when an assignment is missing, it really lets you know that it's missing, just so you kind of get that idea. So what's really cool is if you click on this, it's going to go ahead and open a Google Doc with our outline of our notes that we take for class. And what's so awesome about Google Classroom is it automatically makes a copy of the notes for you. You don't have to do any work, it does it all for you. And how we do notes for my class is you usually have an outline like this, and you open it, and then you'll see that there's little blanks here in the notes. It's taking a little while to load because there's a bunch of pictures, because I'm just extra. But you'll see a bunch of different blanks on here, and basically what we do is, as I'm going over the information of the notes, you're filling out the little blanks here on your own notes, and then you submit them, so then I know that you completed them, and then you would want to use these notes, of course, to prepare for your test for my class. So we will, of course, talk more about notes as class begins. I just wanted to show you with Google Classroom that it automatically makes a copy for you. This is your personal copy. This is not for anyone else. This is just for you. So basically, if you typed in here and you typed in some letters. Wow, my computer is being very slow right now. Here we go. I'm like, I typed some letters. So now I've started this assignment, and then let's say I'm done with it and I want to complete it. If I go ahead, so I finished it, even though I didn't really finish it. All you'd have to do is come up here to this little turn in button and click turn in, and then we'll see what it does. and they'll say, are you sure you want to turn in your work? And we're going to say yes, because it's okay. So we're going to go ahead and turn in our assignment, our missing assignment, and there it goes. It's turned in, it's done. So that's really cool. Everything is super easy and ready for you. Let's say like that you started the notes, but then you didn't finish it. The reason it says my access is expired is because I already submitted it. But let's say you started the notes but didn't finish them, and so you need to pull them up later to finish them. You can still come back to the link here on Google Drive, or remember how I said in Google Classroom, correct myself here. Remember how I said like Google Drive makes a folder for you? This assignment will also be in that folder. But basically everything is saved on here, so you could always go back and click here and those notes will pop up again. So your assignment is now submitted. You would just wait for me to give you your points, right? It says it's turned in late, so it's reminding you of that, but you will get a notification when this assignment is graded. So one big last aspect I want to go over is during this distance learning, your teachers are required to check in with you every day, and essentially we need to know that you are working on work for our class every single day. This is for attendance purposes, and like I said, this will be true for every teacher of every class you're enrolled in. So for my class, to keep that sort of simple and organized, I created something called a daily check-in, and you'll see it posted as a little question here on Google Classroom. So just know, we'll get used to this as time goes on, but every single day you're going to have to come here on Google Classroom and you'll have to submit your daily check-in. And so if you click on this, let's see, this one is just asking you about the syllabus. Normally I will title it Daily Check-In. I just forgot to change that. Sorry about that. But normally it'll have the date and the daily check-in, and then it'll have you complete something. And I'm going to normally have it as a question form. So let's go ahead and click on View Question. So it says, what is one thing you have learned about this class from reading the syllabus? I've attached the syllabus here, and basically you as your student, you would go over here and you would type your answer. You'd say, I learned about history. Okay, and then go ahead and click turn in, and then it says, are you sure? Because you're not going to be able to make any changes, and you would say turn in. So it's that simple, but basically I have to have you students do that every single day. I'll have some sort of question posed to you, or a video to watch, and then you'll just have to sort of have a short response. And again, that's something required by the school. So if you have more questions about that, you can of course reach out to me, and of course reach out to the office as well if you have more questions about this sort of daily assignment students have to complete. But I will call it the daily check-in. I'll have the date, and normally that will appear before the question. I just apologize, I forgot to change that. So I believe those are sort of the main things that I wanted to go over with my history class. If more things come up, students, I will show you and we will go over them and we'll talk about them. And I understand it might be a little confusing as you're getting used to this, but please ask questions. I am happy to help you anytime. We can always set up a Zoom session, and then I can share my screen and we can sort of jump around together and work on this and help you get started if you're confused by Google Classroom. But it is very user-friendly, and students, there's other YouTube videos you could look up on how to use Google Classroom as a student. That might help you as well. But this is just a really easy, convenient way to access your classwork, submit your classwork, and have it all in one place where everything saves automatically, because Google saves everything automatically, which is really awesome. So I hope that this was helpful, and again, reach out if you have any questions, and thanks for following along.